Hello, everyone. My name is Anthony BergerOn, and this is the first episode in a new series I'm doing called BergerOn the Movies, where I will be discussing my favorite movies of all time and why I love them so much. I will do my best to alternate between more popular movies and more obscure movies just to keep it fresh. However, in order to discuss these movies in depth, I'm going to have to include spoilers. So if you want to enjoy these movies without any preconceived notions, then do not watch these until you've seen them. Of course, these are just my opinions, my personal opinions, so some other movie buffs out there might disagree with me on some of them, but if you do, just let me know what you think in the comments section, whether you agree or disagree, and what you think of the movies. And last but not least, if you do like these videos, then please subscribe to the channel, and you can also find me on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. So, with all those disclaimers out of the way, let's begin with the very first episode of BergerOn the Movies, where I will be discussing the 1988 horror classic, Child's Play. So, Child's Play. Some of you guys might be surprised that this was my first choice for the series, but this was also one of the first horror movies I got to watch as a little boy. So it does have a special place in my heart. I also had a Chucky doll when I was a little boy, and it used to scare the crap out of all my friends. I still have that doll somewhere, actually. Where is it? I'm not quite sure. But Child's Play tells the story of young Andy, a little boy who wants a good guy doll for his birthday. But they are pretty pricey and all the rage, so his mom can't afford to buy one until she finds a homeless man selling one in a sketchy alley. What she doesn't know is that at the beginning of the movie, in the opening scene, a dying serial killer by the name of Charles Lee Ray transferred his soul into the doll using a voodoo spell while he was fleeing the police and hiding in a toy store. Side note, I'm not sure how the doll wasn't completely destroyed in this explosion, but let's just go with it. Each good guy doll has its own name, and when it's taken out of the box, Chucky says,
"Hi, I'm Chucky, and I'm your friend to the end."
very quickly, weird things start happening, like Chucky suddenly sitting somewhere he wasn't, or Andy keeps insisting that Chucky is doing it himself. But being a little boy, no one takes him seriously, even when people start dying. Luckily, the same detective that was pursuing Charles Lee Ray and ultimately killed him in the toy store is the same detective assigned to these cases. However, no matter what Andy says, no one believes him, and he is soon put in a mental institution for talking crazy. A little trivia. The script was apparently originally called Blood Buddy and was going to be more of a psychological thriller, with Chucky only representing young Andy's dark side. If you're looking for a creepy doll movie that is more along those lines, I would recommend Magic in 1978, starring Anthony Hopkins. That's a movie that deserves a remake. I'm personally happy that they didn't go this route with Child's Play, though, but they still managed to play off this element. Even though we saw the opening scene and we know the doll is possessed, they still are able to play with the psychological element a bit. For most of this movie, we only get glimpses of Chucky running by, or he will suddenly be sitting somewhere he wasn't, like I said. These moments of suspense are scarier than knowing he is alive, I think. It's the uncertainty and the absurdity of that situation, because logically, who in their right mind would believe that a doll is possessed with a serial killer's soul? Which brings me to why I would have to say this is my favorite in the whole franchise. Die Hard fans, I know most of us know that Child's Play 2 is probably the best. It's definitely the best, the most fully realized, and Seed of Chucky definitely being the worst. What an insult, I think.
Well,
But we are not including sequels in this series. So they still touch on the psychological elements throughout the other movies, like The Curse of Chucky, but by then Chucky had become a pop culture icon. So everyone knew that Chucky was a living doll with funny wisecracking one-liners. And when it first came out, I feel like he must have been more of a mystery. Once Chucky started becoming more of like a stand-up comic, I didn't think he was really scary anymore. If Chucky feels like my foul-mouthed best friend, then I'm not really going to be scared of him. Many fanatics will disagree with me here, but I feel like it's the same case with Freddy Krueger and the Nightmare on Elm Street series. The first two were terrifying, and actually Part 3, Dream Warriors, is one of the best as well. But Freddy started becoming funny and familiar instead of this dark, ever-present entity that represented something more sinister and malevolent. I watch these movies for the suspense and the kills with occasional humor, but in some of these, Chucky might as well be Andrew Dice Clay.
Don't with the Chuck.
Back to part 1. With Andy in the mental institution, his mother is left home alone with the doll. In what is one of my favorite scenes of the movie, she lifts the empty good guy doll box up and the pack of batteries falls out, revealing that Chucky has been operating this entire time without any batteries. When she goes to double check herself, Chucky comes to life and attacks her before escaping out the front door. Chucky then tries to go after the detective to get his revenge on him, but ends up getting hurt and runs off. Well, Chucky then makes his way to his voodoo teacher pal, and he finds out that the longer he's in the doll's body, the more he becomes the doll, even bleeding and feeling pain when he gets injured. So his only option now is to transfer his soul back into a human body, but it can't just be any human body.
You mean the first person I let in on the fact that I was really alive?
So for Chucky, it would be little Andy.
I don't believe it. I just don't believe it. The first person I let in on my little secret was a 6-year-old kid.
At the institution, Chucky goes after Andy and kills the doctor in front of him, which, let's be real, that would traumatize poor little Andy to the point of needing to be in the hospital, and he should just stay there, I guess, at this point. Anyway, Andy manages to escape, so when he gets back home, of course, Chucky captures him. And just as he's about to cast the spell again, Andy is saved. And they burn Chucky in the fireplace after delivering this iconic line.
Friends to the end, remember?
This is the end, friend.
Even with all the practical effects being outdated, there is a lot that is brilliantly done. This final scene is rather drawn out, and it's actually amazing, the battle between Chucky and the rest of the characters. The part that always stuck with me the most is when Andy goes to grab something from the other room, and he's confronted by the completely charred, yet still very much alive, Chucky.
Hello, Andy.
This is some scary stuff. This is a really frustrating moment because, first of all, Andy should not have been left unattended. But without giving every little detail away about the whole movie, they do shoot Chucky in the heart and eventually kill him.
I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
And the movie ends on a really haunting shot of Andy closing the bedroom door behind him. I remember showing Child's Play to one of my best friends, Amy, for the first time, which shocked me because she loves classic horror movies. And for a movie that can get a lot of flack for being cheesy, a cheesy 80s horror movie, even Amy turned to me when it was over and she was like, that was scary. And I was like, yeah, it's a scary movie. So, final conclusion, Child's Play is an amazing, great, classic slasher, scary movie. If you haven't seen it and you love the genre, it is definitely a must-see. If you have seen it, let me know your thoughts in the comments section below, and also what you think about the upcoming Child's Play remake that should be coming out later this year. Here are my 2 cents. From what I've heard, I'm very hopeful. Maybe it's too early to say, but according to a lot of entertainment articles online, the new movie will be about an artificially intelligent buddy doll, B-U-D-D-I, and it gets hacked or reprogrammed to kill. So say what you will, but that sounds like a smart story adjustment in my opinion for many reasons. It is relevant if done correctly. It could say something very important about the potential danger of technology and artificial intelligence. Number 2, it does not involve voodoo spells, black magic, or any kind of fantastical elements that require us to suspend our disbelief too much, whether you believe in voodoo or not. Finally, it doesn't allow the new Chucky doll to be cracking jokes because it's not a person in a doll's body. It could just be a killing machine, and that could be scary. Correction, since the filming of this episode, it has been announced that Mark Hamill from the Star Wars franchise will be voicing the voice of Chucky. Although we don't know much else about the remake yet, I am very excited, and I will definitely be one of the first people in line as a true Child's Play fan. The only thing that worries me is it's the same producers of the It remake, which I had my hopes set so high that when I saw it, I was very underwhelmed, and I was not scared. I think the made-for-TV movie with Tim Curry is 10 times scarier, and that shouldn't really be the case, even though Tim Curry obviously is great. I just don't know if I think a TV movie should be scarier than a movie of the caliber that this remake was. All right, that is my first episode of BergerOn the Movies. I hope you liked it as much as I like movies. If you did, please go ahead and subscribe for more episodes of BergerOn the Movies coming your way. Join me next week where I will be discussing my absolute favorite movie of all time, Alfred Hitchcock's Vertigo. Until then.